I've got a ruler, don't I? Now, life is like a line of time. Like you were born and then you die, right? And it's kind of like a ruler or a line of time. In other words, a timeline. Okay, so can you see this? This is like age 1, and then 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then, you keep living 13, you get into teenager years, and you go 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, etc. And then you get older and older, right? Well, what we're going to do is go backwards, reverse it like this. Can you see it? Now it's sort of like upside down. I don't have numbers up here. But then if you went back in time, which is what we're going to do in a little bit, we're going to go back in time, and we're going to keep talking about these children of the Bible. We're talking thousands of years ago. Woo! I love to go back in time. I wish we could time travel. Wouldn't it be so cool to go back in time, some sort of machine, and you go way back in the times of Jesus, and then you go even further back with Abraham and Isaac and Yaakov and all these incredible people back there. And we're going to take a look at two different little boys, get this, little boys who actually became kings. Now this doesn't fit me because I'm an adult, and this is a kid's crown. Can you see this crown right here? They actually became kids. The earliest king, the youngest king, was, get this, 7 years old. Wow. His dad had, died. I think he was assassinated. He was killed. And then the other guy, who was 8 years old, died, but they actually became kings. Pretty cool, huh? So back in time, if we went back, it would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 going back. And so we're going to go way back to the 800s, 837. That means 800 years, it's 837 years before Christ. So if we were like today, going backwards, let me do it with this now. If we went, instead of going this way in time, we went this way. So let's say we went from this year and we went all the way back about 2,000 years ago. Then we went even further back and further back, 837 years before Christ. Wow, that's pretty many years back there. And so this boy became a king. His name, there's different forms of his name. It's Joash or Joash. Okay, and then there was, or it could be Jehoash, same guy. They just had different spellings in the times back then. Like I spell my name Gordon. How do you spell your name? I can't hear you. But anyway, so we have the same spelling. Like tomorrow, I don't spell it like Ghordonn. It's always the same. But back then, they didn't care about spelling. So we're going to go back, and we're going to introduce you to a guy that started out good, and then he went bad. This is a very, very sad story of the Bible. So you can start out good, child. You can start out really good here, and then you can go sour. Your life can turn to the wrong direction. It depends on your choices. And so what he did is he listened to a great priest, a Jewish priest, Josiah. Oh man, he was cool. And then he was really old, and then he died. And then once he died, he went sour. He listened to the wrong people. Listen, it's very important. You listen up. You need to listen to wise people, godly people, good people. Surround yourself as you choose the right, the friends in your life. Choose the right friends. And then as you get older, surround yourself with really good, holy, godly people. Because people can screw you up. They could take your life that's going up, and then you start going down. And you were really good at once, and then you change, and your heart hardens. And this is what happened. His heart hardened against God. In the beginning, he actually, as a king, he was growing up. He was doing well. He was listening to the right priest, the right guy. And then from there, he died, and then he, started listening to other people. He was very young, and it's really important to get yourself towards God, listen to him, especially in his word, and then from there he listened to the wrong people, And in the beginning, he did wonderful reforms, and or especially he rebuilt the temple. It was kind of tearing down God's temple. Yeah, he put the church first, and so he did that. And then after that, he ended up literally, he was a king. He could do what he wanted. Oh, let me get my crown on. I probably should go like this. It's good in the beginning. It went bad. And then he literally killed the son of Joash, that good priest. He had him killed because he didn't like what he was saying. Oh, how do you think God felt about that? Oh my goodness, God was like this, and he went like this, and then he went like this. God really got angry, and he started doing really evil things, and his life went down. He died a sinner. He died ungodly. All right, let's get off of him. He's too sad. But we're going to get on another guy, and this guy right here, turn him back around. At 8 years old, his name is Joash, or Joash, okay? And what this guy did, he did well, very well. All his life, listen to me, child, all his life. You have a life before you. You have a life before you to live, okay? What you want to do is follow Jesus, and this is what this guy did. Okay, remember this number one. He's one of these number one children. There's several of them in the Bible. He did fantastic. Yay! He's a great example. And so let me put this around my neck because he was a child that was like number one in God. And he put God number one. That's how you become a number one child, a real hero of the faith, a really godly person, is you put God first. And he put Jesus Christ first in his life. So his name is, I like this, really cool. It's Josiah. Oh, I love this guy. I can't wait to meet him. I don't think I'm going to meet the other guy. And maybe he repented. I hope he said, oh, God, forgive me. By the way, this guy's grandfather was horrible. He was an awful, awful, terrible, one of the worst kings in the history of Israel, of the Jewish people. But it's very cool. In the book of Chronicles, okay, it was chronicalizing or was writing the records, of these kings and all that. And most of the kings, by the way, in the times of the kings in the Bible, there's kings, chronicles and all that. Like David was great, and Solomon was, he didn't do very well. He started out good, went bad. See, your life can go up and down. But anyway, in these kings, almost all of them were, they weren't good, they were evil. But there were some good, like Jehoshaphat and Hezekiah was good. And, I can't think of all the names right now. But anyway, this guy was a great guy. He started out really good and he ended well. So he started out well, end well. The end of your life is really important. But anyway, excuse me, Hosea, okay? So now, here's this timeline idea again, if you can see this. We have Jesus, okay, here, and then we're going back in time, like I said, like going backwards in time here. So if this is Jesus, and then what happened before Christ? See, BC, before Christ. See, we live way over on this side. Can you see that? We live way over here, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2020, all the way up there, 2030, 40, So over here, going backwards, you would draw 1 BC, 2 BC, 3 BC, 4 BC, going back. And this is how we can figure out, who's when and when they were born. Well, Josiah or Hosea became king at about 641 BC, 600 years before. So again, the Joash was way back here in the 800s, okay? But anyway, so this guy, I have like 7 things that I'm going to talk about. The first one's a special thing. I'm going to zip through these other things. There's a few more things, but these are the big ones that happened in his life. So here, like I said before, he became king at 8. He was 8 years old. Imagine becoming king of a nation. Woo! Now, he wasn't king of the whole nation. It was king of the lower part of the nation. It was king of Judah, Yehuda. All right, excuse me. Now, at 16 years old, this is 8 years later, that's when he began seeking the Lord. Now, I don't know, what he was doing when he was young, but I think he was a pretty good kid, probably. Maybe you're a pretty good kid. But he really didn't seek the Lord a lot. He didn't know much either, by the way. I found out as you're reading the scriptures here, he did not have a Bible. Like, he didn't even have a Bible. Now, there were Bibles around. They were called Book of the Law, okay, the Law of God, the Torah, which is the first 5 books of the Bible: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. He didn't have those books, you know. So what happened is he did the best he could, and he probably prayed here and there, maybe gave his little night prayers like, God, you know, help me or bless me and all, you know, before he went to bed or something, like bednight prayers, his bedtime prayers. I don't know. But anyway, he didn't really seek the Lord. Then he got serious. Yeah, baby. Get serious with God. Start now. I don't care how old you are. Start now, you know. And so what happened is at 16 years old, he really started seeking the Lord. Okay. Then at 20 years old, 4 years later, you know, as he was starting to pray a lot and seek the Lord, he started really purging or cleaning up the nation. He's really young, and he started doing what's called reforms. That means forming something different, reforming it. So he started realizing we're doing wrong. They were worshiping false gods, especially Baal and Ashtoreth. Ugh. False idol gods that weren't even gods, and they were worshiping these gods and all that. Oh, God was so displeased. He was really angry at them because he was like, I'm God, you're doing wrong. And they were living wrong. They were acting wrong. They were talking wrong. They weren't serving God. And so at 20, he did that. Now, this is, you know, this is 16. He was really young. But just real quick, this is like 1 is 2, this is 2, so this is his life in order. So he's here, then here, like now he's on the track, you know, going like towards us, you know, growing up. 20 years old, he cleaned up. 26 years old, he started repairing the temple again. It had been torn down. They had a lot of different battles and everything because people in those days were trying to take control of their nation and all. And then at 26 years old, he started repairing the temple. Then Hilkiah, which is a priest, a Jewish priest, while they were repairing the temple, he found the book of the law. They found their Bible. Now we have the whole Bible. We have 66 books. They only have 5 books. The first books that were written by Moses, remember? All right, so anyway, he found the book of the law. Then Josiah tore his robes. This is what happened. Hilkiah found this Bible, he just found this, dusted it off, and let's pretend this is the book of the law here. Of course, this is the whole Bible. You only have first 5 books. And when he found it, it's like, what is this? He started reading it and said, uh-oh. He brought it to Josiah, and he said, here's a book of the law. And then they started reading it to him, or he read it. And then the more they read the book of the Bible, God told his people, like, serve me, and he gave all the laws. They weren't obeying any of the laws. They weren't doing right. Even Josiah. Now, the thing about him is that he was praying to God. He wasn't praying, I don't believe, to other idols and false gods. At least he had that. And then he tore his robes. Now, that happens a lot in the Bible. If you read through the Bible, all of a sudden they, you know, tear their robes. What was that all about? Well, let me finish this up here. What happened is as he started hearing the law of God's being spoken and the warnings of God of what's going to happen if you don't serve him, because there's warnings there and all that, he went, oh no, his face is like, oh, like this. And he tore his robes, which is an illustration. It's a picture of, it's a feeling of your heart being torn, like in your chest area. So he go, like ripped it and said, oh God. And he started crying out to God, and he said, go pray, ask the Lord. He was talking to the Jewish priests, the leaders, go pray and say what's God going to do. And they said that, yeah, he's really upset with you all. God's not happy with you all. And so Hosea, he tore his robes, and then he really just went at it. You know, he went at it. He started cleansing even more, calling the people of God to repentance. He said, we must serve God. And he changed the whole nation, one guy. Remember, he was young. You can change your world. You can make a difference as a young person, child. You can give your heart, your life, and roll up your sleeves and serve God and don't have anything in the place of God like they did and all that. Awesome. But at the end of his life, I do want to mention this. We're really talking about the adulthood here. At the end of his life right here, it says, Josiah did not ask God something. what happened is he heard of a king that was attacking another area, and he got kind of upset with that, which I understand that. He should have inquired of God. He should have said, Lord, should I go help them? Or what do you want me to do? I'm going to take my army in there. And he didn't. And what happened, he just went out there and started attacking the king. And the king said, by the way, I think God is really leading me to do this king of another nation. And if you're going to come after me, I'm going to hurt you and all that. And he did. He got killed. He got wounded. He got really, I don't know, let's say this is an arrow. You know, an arrow got, oh no, this hurts. I'm sorry. Okay, so he got really wounded, and they took him back and he died. So he may have lived longer if he didn't blow it. So that gives you a lesson that seek God in your answer, in your decisions and your problems. Seek God on where you're going to live when you get older, who you're going to marry, if you're going to marry someone. Don't just marry anyone. Pray to God first. What job? Should you go to college? Blah, 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 blah. You just take your life and seek God all the time, and he'll direct you, and he may go, no, I don't want you to do that. Yes, I want you to do that. Let him be the Lord of your life. Okay, that's it. Good stories. I really feel bad about the first one. What was his name? Joash. And then the second one, Josiah. 8-year-old. He's the youngest king. Joash was the youngest king in Israel, in the whole nation. The other one was 8 years old because, oh, by the way, his dad, I think it's Amon, he got assassinated. And then he gave his life to God, Josiah. You do the same, okay? God bless you.